Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and the Magic the Gathering Canonicity Bridge. All right, so the reason why we're talking about this is I got somebody who commented on a short. I did a 1-minute short on the connection between the canon connection between Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and I was specifically talking about a very surprising announcement on Universes Beyond. So the official design team for Magic the Gathering came in and they were like, hey, these Universe Beyonds are incredible. They said a whole bunch of things. I'm paraphrasing. You can take a look at their official announcement, see if you think this matches. And this is the entire point. It is my humble opinion, right, that what's happening on Dungeons and Dragons with Magic the Gathering is completely unprecedented, and no one's seeing it but me. Okay, and I'll start with an analogy, and I appreciate your patience. I know there's a lot here. Okay, so great show, Abbott Elementary. This boyfriend gives his girlfriend a bag, right, and for Valentine's Day, and she opens up the bag and she just kind of rifles through it, and then she's like, "It's empty. Where's the gift?" Right? And he just like kind of rolls his eyes and he's like, that's a Hermes bag, right? Like, and she's like, where's the Hermes in it? It's a $3,000 bag, right? But she doesn't know that. And so she's like, this is a worthless sack. It's empty. There's nothing in here, right? And he's like, no, the bag is the gift, right? And this is exactly where we are with Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons Canon Bridge. The Canon Bridge is created, right? And basically, on some sections, it's absolutely undeniable. It's not, there's no room for debate, okay? Where is that? Strixhaven, Ravnica, and Theros, right? Now, what I'm saying is, if you actually read the Strixhaven book, if you read the modules that were done, for Dominaria and Ixalan by James Wyatt, if you read Quest from the Infinite Staircase, every single Universe Beyond is 100% Dungeons & Dragons canon, in my humble opinion. Why? Because they use Dungeons & Dragons magic sources. Every single one of them, right? And they use Dungeons & Dragons established artifacts like Sol Ring, right? They use plains, mountains, islands, forests, and swamps. Every single one of them, right? Like, if you want to do a Universe Beyond, let's do it, right? Like, you're saying, oh, this isn't canon to Dungeons and Dragons, which has been braided with titanium string, right? Like, with this has been braided from titanium wire to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Dungeons and Dragons is not lightly connected to to Magic the Gathering. It's braided, like it's welded, right? And Strixhaven is like, just in case you were wondering, like Strixhaven is a magical school that's connects to every realm, so that every single thing that connects to the magic sources of plains, mountains, islands, forests, and swamps is connected. Now, I will, to me, I'll drop this the moment I hear them go, oh, well, Universes Beyond is different than Magic the Gathering. That's why it has different magic sources, and it doesn't use any of the existing established Dungeons and Dragons artifacts, which Sol Ring is printed in like 15 sets that are directly connected to Magic the Gathering, and then they put Sol Ring in virtually every single, I think they put it in virtually every major new setting, Universe Beyond. You could say that Universes Beyond is not canon connected to Magic the Gathering, but you have to do it. You have to do a little work, right? Like, and this goes very deep, because there was a point where they were like, oh, hey, Adventures in Forgotten Realms is not canon to Dungeons & Dragons. What are you talking about? Of course, Adventures in Dungeons & Dragons is canon, is canon to Dungeons & Dragons, right? Like, you can't just, you have to do the work. Like, you have to sever it, right? If you handcuff yourself to a gate, right? And then you say, I'm not handcuffed to this gate. You have to sever the handcuff, right? You can't just say, I'm not connected to the gate, right? And this is my point, is I do think executives at Hasbro are going, oh, these aren't connected, right? But every creative in the building is saying they're highly connected, right? And the reason why the world isn't understanding this is it's never happened before. It's completely unprecedented and extremely difficult to understand, right? And what I'm saying to you is you're not holding an empty sack. Dungeons & Dragons is the most valuable, innovative, world-smashing, like incredibly dynamic, incredibly dramatic gift that any intellectual property has ever received. We have something that no one has, right? Dungeons & Dragons has connected itself to 1,000 worlds through Funko Pop. It's connected itself to 1,000 worlds through Lego Dungeons & Dragons. It's connected itself through 1,000 worlds in Magic the Gathering, right? And people keep looking in the bag and saying it's empty, and you're like, no, fool. This is not a $3,000 Hermes. This is a $30,000 Fendi. What's happening here has never happened before. Just because you're a fool and you look in the bag and say it's empty doesn't mean it's worthless, right? Like, and frankly, even beyond that, I know I'm stretching the analogy here. I actually think it's filled with invisible things. Like the bag is the bag, but it's even filled with things people can't see. It's so astonishing. The value on Dungeons & Dragons is so high, people can't even allow themselves to imagine it, right? It is the elephant, right? It's the 5-ton elephant, or let's say 3. Yeah, it's the 5-ton elephant that continues to stay chained to the 30-pound chair, right? It's just ridiculous foolishness, right? We have the most powerful, most expansive, most innovative intellectual property in the world. It's been connected to virtually everything. And I'm the only person on the planet who's seeing it. And I'm telling you, Dungeons & Dragons isn't an empty burlap sack. It's a $30,000 Fendi. The value is far higher than you understand, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a fetch millennium.